Hi everybody. So no wasting time here, we ain't got time. We are wiring up the G3X system. Let's start with a picture of what the serial port looks like. Look at that, folks. I figured out how to work the picture-in-picture. So that's the basic pinout for 9-pin thing. On the Garmin G3X system, that's how you're going to wire it 90% of the time. Stop and take a look now, right? The number 1 pin's a CAN high, number 2 is CAN low, the number 7 is the power in, the number 9 is the power out. That's it. For all your basic functionality, that's it. And that's a good thing. It's easy, right? Because 3 of the pieces that you have, the magnetometer, the AHARS, the ADHARS, and the G5, or at least I have the G5, all 3 of those use the exact same connector, the one I'm just showing you, right? Easy, easy, easy to hook up. Hard to make a mistake. And then there's this. Okay, so that's the 50-pin connector on the back of the G3X display. I mean, there's also a couple of 9-pin connectors, but that's mostly for RS-232, which is serial. We'll get into serial stuff later. That's just a backup. It's a backup. This looks intimidating, right? So, in the beginning, again, like I said, all you need is CAN bus, and all you need is power. So here's what those are. I even put the pins in there for you, which you're welcome. You'll notice that there's 2 places for power to go in, there's 2 to go out, right? So some of the bigger units, more the essential units, have dual power and dual ground. One of them isn't linked to the other. I mean, there's no diode, so you can't. I mean, you don't have to worry about if you lose power from one, you're not going to have to worry about the ground going out, right? So 15 doesn't match up with 31, 16 doesn't match up with 32. But it's just the idea that if your regular power goes out, your backup power will be supplied by an essential bus, right? And that's just a safety protocol. So you can put your plus in and your minus either way, it doesn't matter. And there you see the CAN bus high and low at the bottom. That's easy. Okay, good. But, and like I said, that's pretty much it. I mean, all you need is CAN bus and power, and you really have to have the big display. Well, not the biggest display. You need to have a display so that you can actually see all of the LRU units. I thought I could do that through the G5. I was wrong. You cannot. So you definitely need to have the display. So once everything is hooked up, the idea is that everything has its own breaker, right? So the G5, I believe, is on a 2-amp breaker. The display module's on a 3-amp breaker, but ultimately it'll be on a 5-amp. I have a basic 10-amp breaker acting as the avionics breaker switch. So if I put the 5 in, and there's also the 2 from the... I don't want to accidentally trip that. That would look ridiculous. So, I mean, I've got a 3. Look, the power supply I'm using is very stable, so I'm not worried about it. But I do want to have some measure of security. So I've got them all on breakers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the power on. Oh, and it's about to be soon. So I turn the power on. I've got a power supply in the back, and then I throw this the breaker, which is the main. I'm just going to call it the avionics breaker, and then there's a master switch, right? That then powers the board, which then goes through 4 breakers of their own. I'm basically using breakers as switches. That's all I'm really doing. And actually, what you see is the prelim, is the warm-up. So in the next video, literally seconds from now, you're going to see me turn this thing on. So, sorry to leave you hanging, but see you soon.